Mm. Do, 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 do. Come on. I think we're live. Yes, we are live. All right. Mm-mm-mm. Do, 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 do. Okay. We're live, Willie. We have 0 people. So, hello, hello. I see there's one, two, a couple people there. What are we gonna do here? So, there we go. We got one, two people. We're gonna wait a few minutes for some more people to start jumping in. Uh, Leave a comment. Tell me your name, what you do for a living, what you would like to do for a living. Tell me what your dreams and aspirations are, and see how a coding bootcamp can help you. Because obviously, if you're checking this out, you're considering a coding bootcamp, and you want to know which one's the best. So we're going to talk about that. I'm Jimmy. I'm part of Ironhack, and yeah, I'm here to answer a bunch of questions. I'm here to share with you 10 points that I think are essential to defining which is the best coding bootcamp. Um, there is no best for one single individual, so we'll get into all of this stuff. We have a start time of within 2 minutes, but we'll probably wait a couple minutes for a couple more people to start showing up. And yeah, I mean, for the time being, it would be great if you would leave a comment with your name and tell me a little bit about yourself. That would be fantastic. That way I can know more about who's checking into these things, how I can help you, um, what answers I might be able to give you, maybe a little bit of advice. These are big life decisions, and I think any help that you can get for free is absolutely wonderful, and that's kind of what we're here to do with these types of live streams. We're doing this to provide some free help. We're doing this to provide orientation at scale to help as many people at once, better navigate these waters of discovering which boot camp to go to, whether or not to go to a boot camp, what technology to learn, a whole bunch of different stuff. So these live streams will be answering all those questions. We'll be talking about all this kind of good stuff. So leave a comment. Let me know where you're from, why you're considering a coding boot camp. What change is it that you want? The more I get to know about you, the easier it'll be to provide you with more answers that are more relevant to you. So yeah. So right behind me, you can see there's a boot camp in progress right there. This is one classroom, and the other classroom is over here. It's all one group, but in the afternoons, this classroom is for the part-time boot campers. And oh, that right there is Mark and Irene. It's Mark's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mark. Um, we have a little surprise for him today. He doesn't really know, but we have. So yeah, what else? So this is the official start time now, but we'll give it a couple more minutes. So yeah, so basically, I'm Jimmy Flores. I am part of Ironhack, and the what I do here is in reality, I help people understand, whether or not they should do a boot camp. I try and provide people as much information as possible to help them make a decision on whether or not this is something they should be doing, and you know how to better understand and better navigate all of these doubts, because this is a big decision, and this is something that you likely haven't done before, and there's so many little pieces of information that can help you. And the biggest quotes that one of the quotes that I like that helps define kind of the purpose of these live streams is helping you discover what you don't know, because there's a lot of times where we have no idea what we don't know. And we need someone, some outside source, to come in, orient us, guide us, help us answer our questions, provide ideas and points of view that we have not considered, so that we can make a better decision. So that's kind of what we're here to do, and that's a little bit of my personal objective. Obviously, I would love it if you ended up considering Ironhack, but in reality, the advice that we're sharing with these live streams is applicable to anyone and everyone. So obviously, I'm partial to Ironhack, but you will be able to apply this insight for whatever live stream, whatever bootcamp you might be considering. Um, yeah, I mean, leave a comment, please. Leave a comment. Let me know why you're considering a boot camp. Because obviously you're in this stream because you want to know which boot camp is the best, and we'll get into that. And what I'll get into is 10 points that will help you better gauge and better compare boot camps across the spectrum, because you're likely looking at a couple, maybe two or three, and you're not really quite sure, and or maybe you're really early on in the process and you're looking like which one's the best. So whatever stage you're in, this stream is going to help you maybe get a few more insights into what you could ask, what you could look for. Maybe you could broaden your scope of comparing boot camps, and you can add in some more little variables in there. So yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments below if you have. Well, I think I'm going to start in about a minute. So with whatever questions you have as I go along, please leave them in the comments in this stream, and I will answer those questions as we go along. So I don't like waiting till the end to answer questions. I like to take them on, even if it kind of disrupts the flow a little bit. I really don't mind, and I think it's nice to have an immediate answer to something. So if you have questions, if you have doubts, if you agree or if you don't, if you disagree, leave it all in the comments, because this really isn't a unidirectional conversation. The idea is to develop a dialogue between all of us, so that we can help each other better understand, how to make this choice and this decision of going to a boot camp. So yeah, so I think I'll get started now. So who am I? I'm Jimmy Flores, and I am an Ironhack employee. I've worked with Ironhack for a few months now, probably like 6-7 months now. My background is in tech. I've worked as an online marketing manager and as a content creator for a bunch of different tech companies. I've worked with startups. I've organized startup accelerators and startup programs. So I've seen the importance of code, and that's why I really love the product of a coding bootcamp, because it really helps people, get to that level of being able to create digital products on their own. So that's a little bit about me. So let's get started here. So our question is, which coding bootcamp is the best? Obviously, my point of view is I really believe Ironhack is the best, but not everyone can come to Ironhack. Not everyone is accepted to Ironhack. You might not be able to, to go to Miami, Paris, Barcelona, or Madrid. So I'm going to share with you, I think like 10 points of what I consider things that you should look for to start considering which coding bootcamp is the best for you, because that's ultimately the biggest kind of inflection point. That there is no one bootcamp which is the best across the board. There's boot camps that are fantastic for different types of people, and you have to get into talking with the people in the boot camp to begin defining and understanding if that's the boot camp for you. So let's get into this. So first of all, there's lots of boot camps. All right, so there's a lot of boot camps which with a lot of variety comes a lot of options, and that's actually fantastic for the person looking to sign up to a boot camp, because now you can begin looking at a broad range of options. You can begin kind of benchmarking them against each other. You can begin getting a feel for, how did one boot camp treat me? Did they answer my questions correctly? Did they give me the enough time and space to really explain to them my situation and what I want? So I would say that the first piece of advice is talk to a lot of boot camps, get a feel for the people there. Don't be afraid to apply. Honestly, don't be afraid to apply, because that gets you into the process of really feeling them out and really understanding how they treat you. Because depending how they treat you through this application process, you can begin to gauge how they're going to treat you when you get into the boot camp. So, start applying, start feeling out, because just because you apply doesn't mean you're committing. So go in there and begin judging them against each other, because there's lots of options. So because there's lots of options, again, you have an ability to benchmark them against each other. I would say that's the first thing, is to begin looking at all these options, narrow them down and start applying and start having these conversations with each one, because this is really going to help you in understanding. Probably one of the most important things is a very human aspect to boot camps, because you're going to be in there with a lot of people all day long, and you really want to be in an atmosphere that you like. So that kind of goes into my next point. And again, I'll remind you all, please ask questions. If I say something and you agree or don't agree, or if you have a personal question, something more related to your own unique situation in this process of trying to find a boot camp, leave it in the comments. I'll answer these questions, but please make sure to leave them in the comments. So moving along, family atmosphere. You're going to spend hundreds of hours with not only with the group that you'll spend the boot camp with, that you'll learn with, but with the people working at the campus. So you'll spend so many hours, and really, and a family atmosphere gives you this opportunity to really go into a place that isn't treating you like a number. I mean, I hate to use this example, but a little bit like the university system, where you're really not an individual in that system. You're basically treated like a line item in their class. And then, here in boot camps, it's different. The groups are much smaller. The human element and the high touch element is also much greater than in a university. So I would say look for a boot camp that has a real family atmosphere, to where you're going into a place that's going to be friendly and welcoming. I can't stress that enough. To me, it's one of the key points. Here at Ironhack, and at all our campuses, there's a big family atmosphere. If you go to like Switch Up or Course Report and read the reviews, you can see a lot of points to where to where there's a family atmosphere. Any English speaking courses in Europe? Yeah, we have our Barcelona boot camp, which is in English, and our Paris boot camp is also beginning in English. So if you go to ironhack.com and you look at the boot camps, both of those are in English. Question answered. I love it. Ask more questions. So here at Ironhack, staff eats with students often, practically every day. You can see that where we're sitting and where the students are learning, there's not a space. So there's not a division. I mean, we spend a lot of time together. We become friends. We hang out. We like I said, we eat together, we go have lunch together, we do as much as we can with each other because ultimately we all spend our day here, and in reality we want to spend our day with people that we like and we enjoy. So I would say that when you're looking at which coding bootcamp is the best, try and figure out that if there's that family atmosphere. Try and figure out if there's that feeling that you're going to go into a place where that's welcoming, that's warm, that's an environment that is going to be supportive to you. And that brings me to the next point. And again, please ask questions along the way. If you have questions, this is the opportunity to get a live answer from a human being, not having to fill out a form or leave a comment or send a direct message or anything like that. So, supportive environment. Coding boot camps are really difficult. They're difficult in the sense that you're going to receive a ton of things to learn in no time. The time that you're going to have to assimilate all of these little things that you're expected to learn is going to be practically null. So there will be moments where you're going to face highs and lows, and there's going to be days where you're going to think, how can they expect people to learn this way? It's too much information in a little bit of time. You're going to consider whether or not you can even learn to code. You'll doubt whether or not you made the right decision. This is absolutely normal. So it's important that you begin trying to find through, for example, reviews on like Course Report or SwitchUp, speaking to the actual people, the staff at the bootcamp, maybe even visit a bootcamp. If you have the possibility, definitely go into the bootcamp, check it out, get a feel for the environment, get a feel for the students, get a feel for the staff, because here at Ironhack, because we believe, well, we know, we see it every day that this is a very hard thing to go through, and this supportive environment to where, whenever you have a problem, we're here to help. We're here to answer. We're here to try and solve that problem for you. Lots of people come up to us, whether it's really personal help in the sense of, I'm feeling extremely stressed with this, all the way to more professional help along the lines of how can I improve my resume? How can I begin practicing for job interviews? All of that stuff we help you with, we support you with, because ultimately our goal is your success. And because our goal is your success, we're here to help. So finding a boot camp with a supportive environment is absolutely essential. Find what these boot camps do beyond teaching you how to code. That's part of the supportive environment as well, because learning how to code, frankly, is very easy. You can even do it on your own. You can do it without spending 6,500 euros or $11,000 on a boot camp. You can absolutely do it. The problem is it's extremely difficult to do on your own. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think if you're highly motivated, you join a boot camp. But if you're extremely highly hyper mega insanely motivated, you could probably learn to code on your own. So I have fans over here. Willie, come here. You want to get into the stream. This is Guillaume Gasco. He's our resident Frenchman. Look at him. Beautiful guy.
Nice to meet you guys.
I love seeing him on camera. So yeah, supportive environment, friendly environment. What you're seeing there isn't just goofing around. It's kind of how we have our day to day here. But next point, but before I go into the next point, please ask questions. If you have doubts or questions or whatever, just please ask. This is the moment to do it. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. But most of all, do yourself a favor and ask questions, because you'll be able to get more out of this stream than if you just sit there passively. So, passionate staff. I think this is one of those key elements that makes a fantastic coding bootcamp. So the best coding bootcamps, I would benchmark against, whether or not their staff are there to earn a paycheck or because they actually love coding and technology. I can speak to Ironhack in the sense of we're all here because we love the product, we love tech, we're into everything online, digital, startups, entrepreneurship. SaaS products, all this stuff. We're into it. I mean, I can't stress that enough. So finding a place that has a passionate staff is extremely important. So how do you do that? You call, or you let them call you, and you ask them questions, and you try and have conversations with them. You speak to more than one person, because really here, for example, Ironhack Barcelona, actually any Ironhack campus, you can walk in and you can talk to Mark, which is the campus manager. You can talk to Alba, which is the admissions director here. You can talk to myself. You can talk to Guillaume. You can talk to anyone here. You can talk to our teachers. I mean, you can literally walk in and talk to Thor. You can talk to Matias. You can talk to Mark, which is the other TA, and Michael. So you can talk to everyone. And frankly, I think it's, you need to see whether or not the staff that you speak to is passionate about the product, about code, about the internet, about tech. If you start getting a feel for that, then that's a really good indicator that the boot camp is one of the best, because ultimately boot camps are made up of the people that work in them, that make the wheels turn. So if you find people that are passionate about what they're doing, that's a good direction. That's a good boot camp. So passionate staff. Let's see. Any questions? Any doubts? Anything? I see there's 7 little eyeballs there, so I imagine there's 14 eyeballs looking, maybe 7 ears listening. So let me know if you have any questions, what you think. There's a comment box. Set it on fire, so start commenting. All right, next point. Fantastic campuses. Okay, so this is one of those things that I don't think a lot of people really pay attention. Uh, a campus is going to be the place that you're going to spend day in, day out, all of your hours. So find a campus that is nice. Find a campus that is a place that you want to be, a place that you feel at home at. Um, all of Ironhack campuses are put together to help students have the most comfortable experience that they can. For example, here at our Barcelona campus, the campus is large, it's open, it's luminous, it's we do as best as we can to make sure that the environment that all of our students are in is as nice as possible. Obviously, there's not a lot of luxuries in the sense of, I have no idea. If to have luxuries, you would have to have really, astronomical per prices per student. But for for an experience in a boot camp, I think looking at the campus and seeing if it's a place that you would like to be in day out is essential. So the best boot camps really pay attention to how this campus is going to reflect the company philosophy, the local geographical area that they're in. For example, the Barcelona boot camp, Barcelona campus is only a kilometer away from the beach. You could have lunch there if you want. You could be if you walk there, you could be there in 15 minutes and have lunch, come back, and all of a sudden you've had an amazing break from your day. So look for campuses that actually inspire you, that you would want to be in. So yeah, any questions up until now? I'm here for you. So let's see. Let's keep going then. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Not yet. Next question. Next point. Locally connected. We start getting into the more structural things. So locally connected means each boot camp should be, the best boot camps have deep roots in the local startup and entrepreneurial and business, sorry for the buzzword, ecosystem. So what does this mean? This means that, once you sign up to a boot camp, this is kind of a smart shortcut to building an extended network that's going to be here to help you progress and advance. So that means that let's say, for example, in the case of Ironhack, and I'm using Ironhack as an example because it's what I know, it's what I see day to day, but all of this you can begin uh, kind of judging all of the boot camps that you're considering against each other. So, uh, Ironhack spends a lot of time in each campus to build local relationships with companies, with entrepreneurs, with the smartest people locally, so that when you graduate and when you go through this boot camp, you will have an experience. You will have the opportunity to be hired at the end. So the more a boot camp is connected locally to the companies that are going to those two right there, teacher and TA. That's Thor and that's Matias. Um, so the more locally connected the boot camp is, the more opportunities are presented to the students after they graduate. We don't guarantee you work. I think if any boot camp guarantees you work, be very skeptical about that. But what we do guarantee is that companies will come with real job offers for real positions that they're looking for, and you will have, in a lot of cases, the opportunity to be the first people that they consider. And that's thanks to the hard work that's been done locally to network with businesses locally, to build relationships. And that is something that the key boot camps, the best boot camps do. Because ultimately you're in a boot camp for one of two things really, to either work coding or to improve your personal skill set. So in either one, the bigger the network that the boot camp can provide from the get-go, the more advantageous that's going to be for whatever your goals are after the boot camp. We have a question here. What are the tools you teach for prototyping? Prototyping for web dev or for UX? I know for UX, they teach Sketch and they teach hand sketching, and think they use. You catch me on that one. I know for for UX, yeah, for UX, it's primarily hand sketching and Sketch, and I believe they also touch upon Balsamic, and I forget what else right now. Um, but here's the thing: if you go to whichever course you're considering, and you actually go through the whole apply process, which is really two screens, it's really simple, really fast. There's not a lot of typing, so once you go through that, you'll receive a complete course guide, and in that course guide, you'll probably all of these questions are answered. So, but what were you, Juanma? What were you talking about? Are you meaning prototyping for coding or for UX? Let me know, and I can bring in one of the TAs or the teachers and answer that for you right now. So just give me a little bit more definition on your question, and I'll happily help. So locally connected, basically the deeper the roots in the local ecosystem, the more opportunities there will be for all of the students in the bootcamp. Social commitment. This is one of those things that really, I guess when you're benchmarking a bootcamp, you don't really consider, because I don't really think for a lot of people it comes into mind. But social commitment is, for example, in the case of Ironhack, since day one, and this isn't because it's a fad, but since day one, since Ironhack opened in 2013, we have had a women's scholarship. So we've had a scholarship that is intended to help more women enter enter the coding and the tech world. So we've had this since day one because we feel that we're in a position to where we can give back, we can help affect a little bit of change beyond what we already do. I think it's one of those things to consider when looking at a boot camp. I think the best boot camps go way beyond just teaching to code. They go beyond offering you placement, but they do a lot to further the advancement of technology by helping more people access the right education. So look for boot camps that have shown a tendency to be socially committed. Look for boot camps that either have current scholarships or have had scholarships. Look for boot camps that do things for their local community. Those are things that are going to show you that it's an environment that's really committed to what they're doing, to actually furthering coding and design education. In other words, it's a walk the walk and talk the talk. So it's easy to go in and say all of these things, but to actually see the results of things that have been done, like the women's scholarship. We did two other scholarships. I mean, we're trying to help as many people as possible access this type of education, to make career changes, to make life changes, to improve their personal skills. Um, we do a lot on that front. So I would say this is one of those things that you could begin looking to uh, in a boot camp. Any questions? More questions? More things I can help you with? I'm here for you. So please start asking. Leave comments below. Don't be shy. It's one of those things that, like in conferences, that no one ever has a question, but after the conference, everyone has questions. So don't be shy. If you have a question, it's likely, 100% sure, it's likely that someone else has that same doubt or feeling or question. So go ahead and ask it in the comments in this stream. Next point, strong partnerships. So the best coding boot camps have developed strong partnerships with bigger brands, bigger companies, and this goes beyond what I mentioned before of locally connected. You know, we have strong partnerships with local hiring partners, companies, you know, in Miami, in Barcelona, in Madrid, in Paris. But if you're considering a boot camp, I would say begin looking at the historical partnerships that they've had. What companies have, you know, considered the boot camp worthy of connecting with their own brand? Because this is actually a big deal in a lot of ways. Because, for example, Ironhack has recently partnered with Uber in Miami. We had an Uber scholarship in Miami. We partnered in Spain with Wallapop. We've partnered in Spain with Pompey, which is a manufacturer of eyewear. Wallapop is a gigantic uh, uh, kind of like second-hand goods selling platform, which is, I think, property now of let's bonus, something like that. Really big company here. We've also recently partnered with ESADE, and ESADE is one of the leading MBA schools in the world. So these partnerships don't happen by chance. They don't happen on accident. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of conversations, a lot of trust, a lot of believing in the product, in a lot of believing in a lot of things for a company like Uber, Wallapop, and especially ESADE to want to partner with a boot camp. So I would say, if you're considering a boot camp, look at which partnerships they've had in the past with which companies, because that's going to do a lot to help you begin to gauge. And I'm not saying this is a definitive. I'm not saying because we've partnered with Uber and ESADE, this means that we're the best. But I'm saying that these things don't happen, they only happen with very high quality institutions. So look at who that potential boot camp that you're considering has partnered with in the past, because that's also a good indicator of their quality. Again, it's not the only indicator, and it's not an absolute, but it's something to help you begin to judge, because we're human beings, and that's what we do. We judge everything. So all of these points that I've been giving you up until now, the idea is that you use these all to help you judge which coding boot camp is the best for you. All right, so strong partnerships. The next one is admissions process. Okay, this is a big deal. You know, when you go in and apply, you'll go through an admissions process. At Ironhack, our admissions process has several steps. There is no automatic, you have the money to pay. Oh, yeah, well, then wonderful. Then you're in the boot camp. No, not at all. We reject a lot of people. A lot of people reapply and then they might be accepted for a further date. But basically, the admissions process is important because it helps you understand whether or not this boot camp is just in it for to fill up groups, to fill up cohorts. So at Ironhack, we have an admissions process that includes a couple steps, and they are the first step is you'll go through their apply form, and after the apply form, it'll get to our admissions professionals, our admissions team, and they will review your application and give you a call. Okay, they'll give you a call, and they'll have an initial conversation with you to understand if we can help you, what your goals are, what your objectives are, where you would like to be, what's that purpose that you have for considering a boot camp. Um, uh, Irene, I will answer your question in a second. So, the admissions process. So that's the first step. This personal interview where we look at uh, all of these things that you want and whether or not we can help you get there. Okay, that's the first step because we're not guaranteeing that what you want we can help you get, and we definitely aren't going to sell you a pipe dream. I mean, the reality is that when somebody 40 or over applies to a boot camp wanting to change careers, it's a tough sell. It's not easy. There's a lot of ageism in tech and across the world. So it's something to really consider. Um, and then we have a technical interview. So in this technical interview, now you will begin getting assessed on whether or not you have kind of not the ability to code, but the grit to go through the process of learning to code, whether or not you have the stick-to-itness, whether or not it's also here to judge kind of your logic and how you work through these problems, because learning to code is going to put you in a situation where there's going to be a lot of problems that you'll have to answer and solve, and it kind of requires a little bit of a shift in thinking, especially for people who have come from backgrounds that are very non-linear, very abstract and creative, like it could be like art or design or something like that. When you go down the coding path, all of a sudden you have to begin thinking in slightly different ways. So this technical interview process is for that. Excuse me. And so once we go through these, if everything is positive, then we'll send you an acceptance letter, and the process goes on from there. So look at boot camps that have an admissions process that isn't just oh yeah, you're in. So look for boot camps that actually provide some type of challenge in the admissions process, that are understanding that are trying to understand whether or not they can help you personally, because that's extremely important. Avoid boot camps that are just saying yes to everybody. That is, I mean, boot camps with classes of like 35, 40 people is absolutely outrageous and insane. So look at this admissions process carefully. Look at also the human aspect of the admissions process. Who are you speaking to? How are they treating you? How do you feel treated? These are things that also are fundamental to judging boot camps. So there's a question that came in. Would you recommend Madrid or Barcelona campus? What are the differences? Okay. I would recommend Ironhack, first of all. But Madrid or Barcelona campus, it really depends. Kind of, oh man. The education quality is the same. Okay. The education quality is the same. The program is the same. The intensity is the same. Campuses are totally different. In Madrid, they just moved to a new campus, which is in an area called Matadero. And actually, hold on. Let me rewind that. There's a giant difference between Madrid and Barcelona campus. Madrid campus is only in Spanish, okay? The courses are only in Spanish. The Barcelona campus has the full-time 9-week boot camp is in English, but the Barcelona part-time boot camp is in Spanish. So those are two gigantic differences. Um, if you speak Spanish or if you speak English, let's just assume now that you're bilingual and you can go to either campus and learn. First of all, I would say learn in your native language. Learn in your language that you learned first and that you feel more confident and comfortable in. But going beyond that, I would say the Madrid campus is all of our campuses really reflect the local area, the city. You know, our Barcelona campus is 1 kilometer from the beach. That's a giant defining characteristic of Barcelona, the beach. Our Barcelona campus is open floor plan, very luminous. It's very kind of relaxed in the sense of you could easily see everyone just wearing flip flops and t-shirts and shorts here. It has that vibe. It has that beach vibe. It has that. I'm not going to say beach bungalow vibe, but it has a very beach vibe. In Madrid, it has more of a Madrid vibe. It has more of a kind of how do I say this in English? It has more of a I would say a little bit of a more upper scale. It's not really the word. It, the it's a little bit more. Uh, how would I define the Madrid campus? This is interesting. So, the Madrid campus has classrooms, for example, that are closed off to each other. They just did a new renovation. They moved into new offices. It's in an area where it's a little bit more Madrid industrial. It's not as like Barcelona industrial. There's just a more kind of almost like a little bit more of a buttoned up ambiance to the Madrid campus, I would say. While the Barcelona campus is frankly like flip flop campus almost. So that's kind of the difference. I would say personally, I would say I like more the Barcelona campus, uh, but at the same time, it really depends a lot of times on economy where you can go. If all things are equal, well, I would say, I would say if you can visit both campuses, if you can, um, see a lot of pictures, ask for more pictures, try and see videos, try and get as close as possible to actually feeling that you're in the campus. But for me, and between us, I would choose the Barcelona campus. No, no, no. I'm kidding. Both campuses are fantastic, but I think ultimately the decision should be language because uh, whatever language you're learning in is going to help you assimilate things a lot faster. So choose your native language and go with that. Any more questions so far? I have one more point, and then we're done. So please let me know if you have questions, doubts, what you consider the best coding boot camp. What are the things that you use to judge? And this is our last point, cutting edge curriculum. Obviously, to choose the best coding boot camps are teaching the technologies that are most in demand right now. Um, I would say that the best coding boot camps are not afraid to change what we call their stack. So they're not afraid to change what they were teaching to teach something that is more in demand and growing exponentially. We did that, and I know other boot camps have done that. And what Ironhack did is we used to teach Ruby and Ruby on Rails, and then as I think 2 boot camps ago, we shifted over to JavaScript bootcamp. ¿Hablas español? Bueno, yo sí hablamos español, pero de momento este stream es en inglés. O sea que habrá streams en español. So going back to this cutting edge curriculum. So look for a bootcamp that offers a technology that has a large volume of jobs. That's extremely important. For most people, you're learning to change careers. So if you're doing that, then for example, for us, we changed over to JavaScript because at least in the job market, job postings that require to some degree JavaScript have exploded. It's becoming for a lot of things the go-to and the default language. So we've shifted over to JavaScript, and and Angular, and we chose Angular over React for several reasons, um, all of which we can talk about later if you're curious about that. But yeah, look for boot camps that have cutting edge curriculum and that haven't and that have shown the 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 courage to change what they were teaching to something new. Um, that's a boot camper right there, because that really shows that a boot camp isn't just there to make money, but because if they were just there to make money, then they would never change anything. Everything would stay the same because the investment that it takes to shift programs and to change a curriculum is a considerable one. So um, look for boot camps that aren't afraid to change. So that's the last point. I will quickly run through them again. So there's lots of options. So, apply to a lot of them and feel them out one by one. Look for boot camps that provide a family type atmosphere where there's a closeness and there's almost a bond between you and the staff. Um, Look for coding boot camps that provide a supportive environment. Read reviews, talk to boot camp students, look for, contact people on LinkedIn who've done the boot camp and ask them about this. Ask them about how their experience has been with the staff, with the other students, and look for supportive environments. Also look for passionate staff. Look for boot camps that have people on staff that give you the feeling that they really love tech, that they really love the internet, that they're here teaching coding because it's more of a calling than it is a business. Look for that. Look for campuses that are fantastic. Look for places that you would want to spend your whole day in for 9 weeks or 12 weeks. Look for these places that inspire you, that really give you a good feeling. Look for boot camps that are well connected locally, that have deep roots in the local startup ecosystem, in the business ecosystem. Look for boot because this will broaden and immediately give you a network to work with, and this will ultimately bring in more unique job postings that are going to be exclusive that are the bootcamp students will get first dibs on. Look for boot camps that are also socially committed. Look for boot camps that uh, have shown a commitment to advancing coding and technology beyond trying to just sell boot camps. Look for boot camps that support women. Look for boot camps that support other minorities or other people and that help. Look for boot camps that actually try and make education more accessible. We've done it, and I know other boot camps have done it. So try and see their track record with their social commitment. Strong partnerships. Look for boot camps that have established strong partnerships with strong brands. For example, we partnered with Uber, we've partnered with Wallapop, and now we've just partnered with Esade. So look for these boot camps with strong partnerships, because that's going to be a good indicator that they're in for the long run and that they're providing quality education. Um, Look for boot camps with a rigorous admissions process. Look for boot camps that aren't just looking to get you through the door. I think this is a very intuitive thing to understand. So look at how you feel treated. Look at how you feel that you're being spoken to. Look for a place that isn't trying to just sell you that they're the best at everything, but look at places that are really trying to help you. Trying to understand if they can help you move on and shift into whatever life or career change you're looking for. So look for an admissions process that is along those lines. And then cutting edge curriculum. Look for a boot camp that teaches something that's in demand, because the more in demand the skill, the easier it will be to help you find a job, to find job offers that you find interesting. So look for that too. And to wrap up, I would encourage you to, grab our student guide. Our student guide offers a deeper look into a lot of aspects of the Ironhack Bootcamp. I'll show you the Ironhack DNA, what we're about. You'll get to understand the applications process. You'll get a lot of information about the bootcamp. You'll get a lot of information of the weeks, how they break down, what type of projects you have, the pre-work and the expectations you have around the pre-work. It's a very big. You'll get all the career support information. It's a big document, and you get to see where students are working at. Uh, yeah, big document, and then you'll get an understanding on tuition, your options for financing it, your options for all your tuitional options, um, and then what else? You'll get to see a little bit about our locations. Um, and all that kind of good stuff. So, go, and the way you can get this document is there's a link, and I will pin it. Give me 1 second because I will pin it to the comment section of this, of our little thread here. So, in this link that is also right here, in this link, wait, easier, wait, down, right there. In that link, you'll be able to uh, apply, and once you apply, you will get this document. So the application process is a two-step process, very easy. You don't have to type a lot, so don't worry. You don't have to type paragraphs upon paragraphs. It's a very simple two-step process. It'll take you practically like less than 2 minutes, maybe even less than a minute. So um, fill it out, and then once you fill it out, you'll get an automatic email sent to you with a link to download this PDF. Download it, have a look at it, and then talk to us personally and see if we can help you. Find out which coding bootcamp is the best for you, and whether or not Ironhack is the best one for you. So I'll give a couple minutes, maybe 1 or 2 more minutes, to see if anyone has any other questions. And if you don't, then I will kind of consider this done. So any other questions? Any other questions? Let me know. Do, 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 do. Okay, I have a question. After I graduate from Ironhack, can I go back or call to ask mentors questions when I have questions? Oh, 100%. So this is a fantastic question, and I think it should be included in this set. So at Ironhack, when you graduate, you don't disappear from Ironhack. On the contrary, you become deeper embedded into the Ironhack culture. So this is what happens. You graduate Ironhack, and let's say you immediately find a job, and then you start working, and then 6 or 7 months down the road, for whatever reason, you want to change jobs, you call us, and we'll help you find opportunities that we might only have access to. So for forever, you have our career support. That does not end during the hiring days. That only begins during hiring days. You can call us at any time. You can email us at any time. You will be included into our Ironhack Slack group, which has channels for all of the alumni, all of the mentors. It has channels for coding help. It has channels for new job offers. There's tons of job offers that get posted in our internal jobs board in Slack that aren't showing up anywhere else. So for example, Ironhack alumni discover that there's an offer within their company. They'll drop it in there before it goes to LinkedIn or to Indeed or to wherever else. So that's also fantastic. So when you're working and you have problems with code or a project, our coding help section in Slack is fantastic. There's I think hundreds of people in there already that. You have a coding question, you drop in your snippet of code, and there's people that will help you answer it. It could go from the alumni all the way down to the TAs that are currently participating as TAs. Everyone is in there, and everyone's monitoring, and everyone's there helping our alumni. So once you become an alumni, you get a lot of help. And I think this is one of those important things to ask a potential coding bootcamp is, what happens after I graduate? What type of support do you give me after I graduate? because we don't want you to disappear from our life after you graduate. On the contrary, we love it when our alumni come back through the boot camp, when our alumni come back and give workshops and visit. That we love that. So that is one of those things to also take into real consideration. And Ellie Chen, fantastic question. Thank you so much for asking it. Um, Anyone else? More questions? I'm here for you. Please ask questions. If nothing else comes in a minute or two, I will stop. So, I hope you found this helpful. I mean, I always find these interesting. I like to do these little talks. There's more coming up. There's one tomorrow, and there might be one on Friday. So check them out because each one is going to provide things that are a little bit different. But more than anything, it's an opportunity for you to ask questions, for you to meet me, for you to eventually I'll start bringing in other people that work here, so you can get to meet them, so you can get different points of view, different insights. So if there are no more questions, then I will kind of conclude this. So 20 seconds more. Ellie, was the answer sufficient? Did you get your question answered? Let me know. Anything else? Anything else? No, no, no. All right. So I think that we're done. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you have any more questions, you can email me at Jimmy, Jimmy, at ironhack.com, or you can directly email Ironhack at hi@ironhack.com. You can send us a direct message on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can comment this video. You can call us on the phone. Don't be afraid to call people on the phone. Honestly, you'll get a feel for people. So, anyways, with that, we conclude this, and I hope you've gotten something valuable out of this. Thank you, and till next time. Bye bye.